Hello and welcome to BierTier, the German engineer. Today we're back with episode 22 of our newest Let's Play series, and this is of course oxygen not included. Last time around, all the way on the top, we went to space and we built our rocket platform, so we definitely have to continue here. But there are of course a couple other projects that I want to get started on as well. So let's just jump right into it and see how that works out for us. And here we are. So let's turn the overlay back on. Chemster is still hard at work over here exploring the space around us. But first and foremost, we need to take this right rocket platform right here, and this here is going to be our research rocket. So let's say new rocket on the bottom right, and let's build what we need to build. First of all, we need a small petroleum engine. That is of course highly important. Who could have seen it coming? And let's see, we're gonna build it out of, might as well build it out of gold because it doesn't matter too much. That is the first thing that we need. Then we need a spacefarer module, and we're just gonna build it out of cobalt or iron. It doesn't really matter. That is the next thing on the list. Then we need to take a look here where we at. We need battery modules, also built out of iron ore, and we need 2 of those. After we have those, we need to find us the, where are we at? The small oxidizer tank. There it is. Iron ore. There we go. Simple as that. And then we need the gas cargo canister. We're gonna plop that in, built out of iron. That is perfectly fine. Thankfully, we have so much refined metal that we don't know what to do with this stuff. Yeah, let's make it out of iron. That is perfectly fine. And we need one solar panel. There it is. We need to make it out of glass. Thankfully, we have 250 of it, so that will work. And then last but not least, all the way on the top, we will need a nose cone. And it is right here. And we are just going to make it also out of iron because we have more than enough of this stuff. There it is. And as soon as I unpause the game, let's see what happens. In the back here, is the scaffolding not coming up? Apparently not yet. Apparently they first need to build the small petroleum engine, but they can't build it anyway because first of all we need to plop in a ladder. And the ladder, we're gonna come up here all the way to the top, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side so the dupes can get up here whenever they want. Now they have more than enough to build up here, and as soon as that is done, we will get into more stuff. While our dupes are building on the top, down here on the bottom, there are several things that I want to do. Let's see. One of them is over here on the left. I want to start digging out this stuff here, and when we take a look here, of course, everything is full of slime lines, so we need to do something about that. I want to get into this oil reservoir right here on the left, and then up here on the right. Where was that? Right here. I believe this here is the cobalt volcano, isn't it? Let's take a quick look at it. Yes, sure enough, that is a cobalt volcano, so I want to get into that general direction as well. So what I want to do is I want to dig through all this stuff right here. I also want to dig all this here out. I mean, there's a lot of digging that needs to happen, and most of it has slime lung in it, so that is definitely a problem. So let's do something about that, because our storage bins right here are clearly now in oxygen and not where they should be anymore, which is of course chlorine gas. We need to build something for that. And the smartest thing to do is probably down here somewhere where the dupes are actually wearing their atmosuits so they don't get the debuff. So let's get started on this here. We need insulated tiles, and we are going to come probably just along here, quite honestly. Yeah, that should probably get the job done. Somewhere like this here, then we're gonna come down here. We're gonna leave a 4 high space, of course, so we can build stuff in there, whatever we need. And then right around here, we're gonna build us a liquid lock, kind of just like that. And then right here, we're gonna come along. How much space is this here? Nah, that is only 9 tiles long. Let's make it a little bit bigger. We probably don't need that much space, but better too much than not enough. That's usually my mantra, and we are going to stick to it. So let's get all this here dug out, just like this here. And then this here, we're just gonna fill with oil. Why oil? Well, because we have more than enough oil nearby. Where are we at in plumbing? We're gonna come with a liquid bridge just across here so the dupes can reach it. That's probably the easiest thing to do. And then just with an insulated pipe. It doesn't even have to be insulated actually. Just a normal pipe all the way over to here and into there. And just for completeness sake, let's plop another piece of ladder right there so the dupes can just walk across here. So when all this here is built, we're going to vacuum it out first. As soon as it is vacuumed out, we're going to put chlorine in there, and then we're just going to transfer all of this stuff that we have up here on the top, all of the slime, down there to the bottom where it belongs. That should definitely get the job done. And while the dupes are building here, of course, Kruwak somehow managed to get himself stuck. Ah, my goodness, he can't get out to the right either, because here we only have one space. So it may be a good time, now that we have more than enough space right here, to actually move this here one up to give the dupes another way to walk around in here. So let's do that very, very quickly. We're gonna grab us the liquid pump. Actually, we need to deconstruct it first. We're gonna deconstruct it really, really quickly, and as soon as it's gone, we are going to relocate it. Just one tile up. That is all we need. And now it is deconstructed, so let's hop in here, grab it, build it out of anything, doesn't matter. It used to be here, now it's going to live right there. And of course, what it needs is an insulated pipe as well as some power. And the power, we're just going to plop it in like this here. Very, very easy, very, very simple. And then we're gonna build an entire new row of airflow tiles. And as soon as all this here is built, we're gonna rip out the bottom row. And then our dupes can walk around a little bit easier. And latest, then Krivak should also be able to get back out of here. So let's make sure that actually gets done. And Satse is building the last piece, so we can go ahead and tear this row here out. And now the dupes should be able to walk freely in this area. That is exactly what we're looking for. And down here in the bottom, we're also making very good progress. That is great. So next on the list are two things. As soon as these tiles here are built, I'm going to plop in, let's see here, in ventilation, we need a gas pump, and we're going to plop the gas pump right here. Then with a gas pipe just going to come out here, and of course a high pressure gas vent. And then where do we get power from? What is this wire right here? Yeah, that's a perfectly good wire. And of course we're just going to come along here, probably not with lead. Yeah, you know what, screw it, for that little bit of time that we need, lead is perfectly fine. So we're gonna do this, and as soon as that is done, we also need to make it sure that these three tiles here are built. When they're done, we are just going to plop in plumbing a liquid vent right here. It's going to be this simple. We're gonna make a liquid lock, and then we create a vacuum, just like that. And here we have it, everything is empty, the dupes are just coming by and picking up the last few pieces, but we have created a vacuum. So let's go ahead and deconstruct everything in F2. We will not need a power wire anymore. Yes, those times are over. F6 is already done. In F7 we're gonna tear all this stuff here out, and then of course on top of that the gas pump as well as the high pressure gas vent. So now what are we gonna do in here? We are going to come into base and grab us a storage bin right here, and then we grab us a bunch of storage bins right there. And then in the middle, yeah, actually that should be fine. I'm gonna leave a too wide space right here for right now, just so the dupes have to come a little bit further in. But that should be perfectly fine at this point. We will see if we will need something else right here. But for right now, that is what I want to do. And then right here in this storage bin, we are gonna put bleach stone. It will take a little while, but eventually the bleach stone will completely fill this area here with chlorine gas. That is the general idea. That is what we are going to do. Meanwhile, up here on the top, our rocket construction is finished. So let's take a look here. The gas cargo canister is already being filled with oxygen, and we can see that we already have 311.9 kilograms in here. So how does that work? Well, when we take a look into F7, you remember this gas pipe right here? Yes, it comes all the way over here to the left, and it goes into this gas rocket port loader right here. And the gas rocket port loader will transfer it into the rocket platform and then automatically into our gas cargo canister. We just need to set it up to oxygen, which is exactly what I've done, and that is that. Also, our two battery modules here are already filling up slowly but steadily with this one singular solar panel right here. That is of course a little bit slow, so we have to do something about that. So let's go into the F2 overlay, and we can see our heavy watt wire right here. And yeah, heavy watt wire is all good and fine, but when we go into power and we take a look at the heavy watt wire, it is a little bit low on the melt temperature. We built it out of cobalt ore, and the cobalt ore, once again in power under the heavy watt wire, let's click onto cobalt, has a melting point of 1494. Yeah, that is okay, but it is not perfect. We need to build it out of steel, because steel has a melting temperature of 2400. So everything that is close to our rockets right here needs to be steel. If we like it or not, that has to happen. So let's rebuild all of this here and come all the way over to roughly right there. That should be fine. And then what we can do is we can just come along here once again with steel into there, and last but not least into there as well. So that is what needs to be built for power. That should be perfectly fine once it is all steel. And then next on the list is we need to get some petroleum into our small petroleum engine, of course. That is also relatively important. So let's take a look at that. In our pipe overview, we already have a pipe, and the pipe is already connected. Look at that, that is wonderful. So all we have to do is we need to extend it and come all the way over to here and into there. Just like that, literally this simple. That is great. And as soon as that is done, we will be good with the power and we will be good with the petroleum. The other thing that we need is right here in the small oxidizer tank. We need either oxalate or fertilizer. Let's see if we have either. Do we have fertilizer? We do have 1,900 kilograms. That is not a hell of a lot, but it should be enough to get this thing here filled up because it only takes 450 kilograms. So let's set it to a number 9 priority so we can actually get this here filled. So let's get all this here built, and as soon as that is done, we may as well take a look into the Spacefarer module interior. Over here on Abundino, last time around we dug up this carbon dioxide geyser, and what I did is I put in here insulated tiles all around it. It's literally this simple. The only problem is down here it is really cold. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead in utility and grab us a space heater and plop the space heater right there. Then we're going to go into base and we're going to grab us an airflow tile right here and right there just below it. And then in ventilation, no, not in ventilation, in automation, we are going to grab us a thermosensor. And the thermosensor, we just going to put it, are we going to put it above or below? We should probably put it somewhere up here. That is probably a good position. And then an automation wire just down. In F2, we grab us this conductive wire that I already extended all the way down and plop it probably, how are we gonna do this, just over to right there. That should get the job done. And that will make sure that our space heater here is on and we can regulate it if we need to, because the carbon dioxide comes out at negative 55.1 degrees, which is, well, pretty cold. Let me put it this way. And then this up here. Currently we are not getting any more carbon dioxide out of it because when we take a look here, well, there is no more carbon dioxide. So we're going to grab this filter gas pump right here and plop it down here onto the bottom. Then with a gas pipe, let's make it an insulated gas pipe to keep a little bit of the cold, or better to say the heat, whatever we're going to have in here, and bring it all the way up here to the top. That is what we're going to do. We're going to get rid of this. In F2, we're going to get rid of this here. And the gas pipe, we're going to get rid of it eventually as well. But currently we still have carbon dioxide in it, and I definitely want to utilize it. So as soon as all this here is built, we will look a hell of a lot better. Of course, this pump down here also will need a tiny little bit of power. So let's make sure we get that in as well. And once this here is all done and we have every single tile here full with carbon dioxide, then we will go ahead and we will close it off. That is the general idea. Meanwhile, over here on Ingenium, precisely in this area right here, when we take a look, we have a bunch of sleet wheat grains and I want to get all of them out of here. And there are reasons for that. We need to start a sleet wheat farm. So let's take a reason why that is. When we go into the database and we find us the microbe musher. The microbe musher is right here and this little thing right here. When we build it, we can make a bunch of food, and on the very bottom we have berry sludge, and it needs 5 sleet wheat grains and a little bit of bristleberry, and then we get berry sludge out of it. And when we take a look at berry sludge, we see here the spoil time is never, which makes it the perfect food, the best food in my opinion to go to space. So let's do precisely that. We are going to deconstruct all this stuff right here except this one tile, and this one here we're going to get rid of as well while we are at it, which means we can then enter here once again. And we just dig out a little bit more stuff right here so we can get back to our ladder, and then we're going to pick up all the sleet wheat grain. That is what we're going to do. And as soon as we have it down here on the bottom, let's see where we at right here. This area right here is where I eventually want to build the farm and also store our food, because it is nice and cold in here, cold enough for our sleet wheat, but at the same time it is also a perfect place to store food. So how are we going to do that? When we take a look into my blueprints, we have this thing right here, and you may remember it from my last Let's Play if you watched it, because this thing here will allow us to get in and out there and have a minimal exchange of gases. So that is what we're going to do. A little bit of cold will leak out, but that is perfectly fine. So let's deconstruct all of this stuff right here, and then we are going to plop in that a little bit of a blueprint that I have, and I will explain how it works once we have it. So let's go. Down here on the bottom, we now made it inside, and I built a bunch of fridges, not storage bins. We of course need fridges down here if we want to store food. So let's pause it. The last one here I set up to be only sleet wheat. That is exactly what we want. And later on, we're going to transfer the rest of our food down here. But first, the before mentioned blueprint. Let's plop it in here. And we're going to plop it probably just all the way over to right here. Yeah, that's probably the easiest thing, because what we will also have to do is come down here with a couple pieces of ladder and then dig out this here so we can get underneath it. That is the easiest thing we can do here. And then right here, everything here is abyssalite, so that works out perfectly. Yes, this is exactly what we need to build. Let's take a look in F6, F7. Yeah, we have a few pieces in here that we do not need, so we're gonna cancel these here, we don't need any of this stuff. And in F2, we also have some power wires down here, which we also do not need. So that should be perfect. That should be able to be built as is. So let's go for it. Of course, unreachable builds, we have a bunch of those, but that is no problem. Also, the insulated tiles here are built out of ceramic, which we currently do not have. So let's cancel it. Let's put in igneous rock. And here on the bottom, we're going to do the exact same thing. Once again, igneous rock. There we go. Now we can build it. And once it is built, I will explain how it works. No problem at all. And now all this here is built. So let's take a look what we have here. We have 3 mechanized airlocks just in a row. Then what we have here are 2 weight plates, one on the right and one on the left. And when we take a look into our automation overlay, we have a AND gate down here on the bottom, and we have all of our things hooked up properly. So we have right here on the right a weight plate hooked up to the bottom input, then this one here goes straight to the bottom, and this one here goes straight to the middle one. So only the middle door actually has an input. So let's see what happens. We have Krivak here. He has Sleet in his hand and he is coming. He's coming in, he's opening that door. As soon as he steps on this button right here, we will send a red signal and he stands in the middle, which then opens up this door right here. And when he walks through, this door here in the middle closes, kills the oxygen or whatever other gas is in there, and creates a vacuum. We can see it right now here on the bottom. It says vacuum. So every time a dupe walks through, there is a very short amount of time where we have exchange of gases, or better to say exchange of heat. So when Krivak comes back, he will once again let whatever we have over here in here, which is oxygen. Then he walks through, and as soon as he's out, this door here closes once again. And once it is closed and opens back up, come on. There we go, the door is closing. And now this door here opens up and we will once again have vacuum. And when we have a vacuum here in the middle, no exchange of heat is happening. That is the general idea, to minimize the exchange of heat between the right area and the left area. The left area stays warm and the right area stays cold. That is the entire idea of this build right here. That is what we need, and it is the perfect entrance for a fridge. So this here is officially done, and we have tons and tons and tons of Sleet in here. I set those 5 fridges here to Sleet, and that's what we have. So next on the list is to actually build our Sleet farm up here on the top, and that is what we're gonna do. All we're gonna do is we put in a ladder, and with the ladder we're probably gonna come all the way to, yeah, right here should probably get the job done. Then we're gonna come in here into food and grab us a hydroponic farm, and the hydroponic farm we're just gonna make it, I don't care, this long here maybe. It's probably way too much as a matter of fact, but it will be fine. Then we're gonna dig out 4 high as usual, so we can get around here, and the exchange of gases is properly happening. That is highly important because we need to get water in here. Or better to say, let's take a quick look. What do we need to make this stuff here grow? Sleet needs oxygen, polluted oxygen, or carbon dioxide. That is a check. That is what we have in here. We also need dirt, 5 kilograms a cycle, so we need to do something about that. And we need water, 20 kilograms a cycle. And we need a temperature of -55 to 5 degrees Celsius, which is certainly something that we have in here. But the water temperature may become an issue. So we will check it out. We are going to use this water right here, since we have more than enough of it. By now we have 72 tons in here per tile, my god. But that is definitely more than enough. So let's grab us this pipe right here and let's take a look. How can we do this? We could theoretically just branch it off right here and come up there, come through here, and then come all the way over to there, through here, through there, and then all the way into right there. And then how we are going to cool it down, or what we're going to do over here, we need to figure out as we go, because I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'm sure we will find a solution. Potentially just a couple of radiant liquid pipes or something along that line. While we're building on the bottom, it is also time to take a look at the interior of our rocket. So first of all, this rocket control station here has to go, and as soon as it's gone, we are going to start building right here. And right here, now it is deconstructed, so let's get started. First of all, what we are going to do is we are going to grab us a liquid pipe and we're going to build it out of granite. And we need this liquid, or better to say right here, what is it called? The liquid space for our output port. That is what we need. Then we're going to come through here and we snake this thing here all the way through the rocket. Something kind of like this here, as much and as long as possible. There we go, all the way through, over and over and over again, because there's only one thing that we need with this here, and it will be right here. Because what we are going to do is in, where is it at? Plumbing, probably? Yes, the wall toilet needs to turn around, and it's going to live right there on the bottom right. And we will supply it with water through those pipes right here. And we will also use those pipes here for a little bit of cooling for the entire system right here. So that's the first thing that we need. Second of all, let's go into stations. In stations, we're going to come all the way down here and we're going to build an Atmosuit checkpoint. And let's turn it around. We can build it right here. And then we can go and build us an Atmosuit dock right there. There we go. Those two things need to be built as well. Then on the bottom, right beside it in furniture, once again, we will need where we at? A mess table. And the mess table is going to live right there, just like that. And then we will keep on going. But first of all, let's build as much as we can so we don't overwhelm ourselves. Actually, there's one more thing that I can already put in here. I'm only going to build the bottom floor. A hand sanitizer lives right there. That should get the job done. So let's get this here built, and as soon as this here is built as much as we can, we will go one level further up. And there we have it, the entire bottom row is now built. We have our wall toilet, our hand sanitizer, and our Atmosuit dock. Wonderful, that is what we are looking for. That's good. On to the next part. So we need to take a look here. We need a couple things in rocketry, and I'm going to plop those onto the ceiling right away. One of them is the power outlet fitting, and the power outlet fitting is going to live right here. One slot beside the liquid space for our output port right there. Then we're going to leave one empty and we go back into, is that in rocketry? Yes, it is a gas output fitting, and the gas output fitting lives over here, just like that. Then right over here in this area, I want to plop in a little bit of beautification. So let's go into furniture and grab us a metal block. We're going to go full metal, and we're going to go the nicest thing that we have available, which is gold. Let's make it as nice as we can in here. Then we need to have some airflow tiles, and mainly to say one right here and one right there. And we're going to build carpet tiles right here and right there. And ignore all those things that you see here, because obviously currently no dupe is in here. That is what that means. As soon as a dupe comes in here, it's definitely going to get built without an issue. Then let's see, how can we do this here? On the right side, right here, and right there, we need airflow tiles. We also need an airflow tile right there. And then we are going to build more carpeted tiles here, here, and there. And then we're going to go back into furniture and grab us a comfy bed, because the comfy bed is going to live right there. And above the comfy bed, we are going to put two canvases, one right here and one right there. Fits in there perfectly, don't worry about it. And then in base, we're going to grab us a piece of ladder, one right here and one right there. Just like that. Now the dupes can reach the second stage and can start building right here. What they cannot build is the very top though, because when we take a look here, this here is 4 high, so they cannot reach this here. So temporarily we need to build one piece of ladder right there that we can then tear back out so the dupes can reach everything. So now they should be able to build everything that I've plopped down here, and slowly but steadily the picture of what we're doing here should become a little clearer. And now the entire top half is built as well, so that is very good, and we can go ahead and plop the rest in. First, a rocket control station right here. Then we can plop another picture above it. Look at this, fits here like a glove. And then we're gonna go into stations and find us the orbital data collection lab. And that one lives right there. That is what we're gonna plop in there. And then we need 2 more things. One of them is a fridge, so we can actually bring some food. So the fridge goes down here on the bottom, and then we will need where we at in base, a storage bin over here on the right. That is of course not all, because what we also need is in ventilation a gas pipe. And the gas pipe, we're gonna come all the way down here to the floor. then come along here and into there. Yes, that is what that should look like, and the gas vent is going to go right there. We're going to fill this thing here with oxygen, and we are going to use a little bit of a bug, because when we have carbon dioxide in here and it crosses over this gas vent here, it will get deleted. We are definitely going to make sure that we utilize that bug. We're going to plop in 2 more doors right here, and that should be already everything that we need for right now. Of course, everywhere where we can. Let's take a look here in furniture. We're gonna put in crown molding to make it even nicer in here. Yeah, look at this overview. Yeah, every dupe should be more than happy to go into here, no problem whatsoever. And yes, everything here is full now. We have utilized every single tile in this rocket. So let's make sure that gets done. Oh yeah, there's one more thing that I need, and that is of course power. We cannot forget about power. And in power, we need to power a couple things. We need to power this here, we need to power this here, and we need to come all the way down here and power these 2 here as well. That is now definitely everything that we need. And as soon as all this here is built, this rocket is ready to go. Isn't that something? Everything in our rocket is now built, and there is of course one thing that I forgot for the second time now. I also forgot in our last Let's Play. Yes, the conductive wire here is completely overloaded, so we need to go back to Ingenium, and the reason for that is that it uses the power coming into the batteries, and the power coming into the batteries is of course our heavy watt wire. Yeah, I keep forgetting about its tiny little details. I need to snip this here off, and we need to replace these wires here with normal ones. Which means one thing, we will need somewhere around here on the bottom in power a heavy transformer, a large power transformer. Somewhere around here. Doesn't really matter too much where we're gonna put this thing. Probably rather closer than further away. Yeah, how are we gonna do this? Probably right here I'm gonna plop one. Yeah, that's probably gonna get the job done. And then we're gonna come with our heavy watt wire down here. And then with a conductive wire made out of iron. Thankfully, we have more than enough resources. As a matter of fact, I think... No, we still need to come up here with this wire if we like it or not. But everything that is on the right side of this here. Yeah, I'm going to snip this here off and I'm going to deconstruct all of it. Every single piece that we have will need to be deconstructed. As soon as that is done, I'm going to come out of here in power with our conductive wire made out of iron. That is fine. All the way to the top. And how am I going to do this? I'm going to bring it through here up to there and then through the floor. But right here we're going to start going with steel. Yes, that is probably the smartest thing, because I'm probably going to build a 3rd rocket, so let's get ready for that while we're at it. Gonna plop it all the way over to here. Then we're just gonna come straight up, hook everything up, and of course we're gonna come over further to the right to right around here with steel. Then we're gonna switch back over to iron and hook once again our telescope up as well. Even though the area is completed, we don't need it anymore. You know what, screw it, we're not going to do that. We're just gonna come to right there, and we're gonna cancel all this here. That should be perfectly fine, and we're gonna get rid of the telescope as well. All right, let's play the game and let's take a look at our star map. What have we discovered? Not a hell of a lot. Yeah, actually not a hell of a lot. That is almost a little bit sad, but that is fine. We will definitely get there with our rocket eventually. How are we doing on Abundino? Down here on the bottom, I closed it up. Yes, the temperature in here is at 7 degrees, and our filter gas pump here can do what we want. That is perfect, so that here is working as well. While the dupes are working on the power, there's of course one more thing that we need up top here, and that is water. So let's go all the way down here and let's take a look here. Here is our water at 18 degrees. That is perfect. And what we're going to do is we're just going to grab us a liquid pipe, and right here we're going to branch off to the top, all the way through to the top. Come on over here. There we go. And then right around here, what is the temperature in this area? Oh yeah, that's perfect. That will work like a charm. We are going to grab us insulated towels right here, plop them right there, and then we're going to plop us in a liquid reservoir. Then we're going to go back to our liquid pipe and come into here, and then we switch over to insulated pipes and come out of there and through here. We just need to extend this here a tiny little bit, dig it up. There we go. That should make it a little bit better. And then with the insulated pipe, since we're in space and it's extremely cold, we need an insulated pipe. That is the reason for that. We're going to come over to here, and our input is right there. So all we're going to do is we're going to come, we're going to come straight into there. That's perfectly fine. Liquid bridge right here. Any other liquid bridges that we need? Yes, right there. And down here on the bottom, right here as well. That is of course not what we want right there. In F6 we do not want to connect these two here together, absolutely not. There we go. That should give us water, and that should complete that as well. Of course we cannot reach that because we need a ladder as well, so plop in ladders all the way through here, and now we can build all of it. Very, very good. Down here in the bottom, after a tiny little bit of trial and error, here we have our water coming in at 55 degrees, and it's coming all the way over here. And with this last piece right here, let's take a look at it. This last piece of radiant liquid pipe, we're down to 2 degrees, and by the time we get all the way around here, we are feeding it in at the perfect temperature. That is wonderful. That is exactly what we want, and our sleet wheat is now growing. And apparently there is one more piece of aluminum that is up here, left over from the trial and error stage. But this here works without a hiccup. So far so good. We will see if this here runs stable or if we need to make some changes later on. But once again, this here is what it looks like. Coming in with normal pipes, the water is coming in at 66.6 degrees. Coming over here and reaches about 2 degrees by the time we get to this point right there, which is great. So all we have to do is, in case it gets too cold, put 1 or 2 pieces of insulated pipe in and we should be golden. Meanwhile, up here on the top, we are also looking pretty decent. We have our 2 battery modules here full to the brim, and now that we have our new power wire plopped in completely made out of steel, and our cargo canister is also getting filled slowly but steadily. Currently, we are carrying about 620 kilograms worth of oxygen. And in our interior, of course, we need to take a look at this here as well. We have everything ready to roll. Here we have our storage bin full with 10 tons of plastic because we need plastic to make data banks. That is, of course, what we need. We're going to set this here to forever right away, so we don't forget about it later. We have our atmosphere checkpoint, our mess table, and our fridge. And when we take a look into our room overlay, we can see we have a full bedroom, a washroom, as well as a mess hall on the left. Isn't that something? Yes, that will give us a bunch of morale in space. And of course, we also have a few carpeted tiles in here, so we get the tickled feet buff as well. That is great. And that is what that should look like. There's of course only one thing left over to actually get us into space, and that is food. So we need to build us a microbe musher, and we're just gonna plop that anywhere. Again, this stuff never spoils, so it literally doesn't matter. So let's see, last but not least for today, we're just gonna plop it somewhere temporarily. Why don't we put it right here? This rock crusher here doesn't have any more function anyway. Why are you here? So we're gonna get rid of it, and as soon as we are getting rid of it, we're gonna plop in the microbe musher. And there it is, in cycle 466, the microbe musher is here, and we can make us berry sludge, because if there's one thing that we have, it's bristleberries, and of course sleet wheat grain as well. We're gonna set it to a number 9 priority, and then we can get going. We get 4,000 calories per berry sludge, which is a lot. So we're probably gonna make about 20 of them, that is 80,000. We're gonna say berry sludge right away. Let's make sure. Let's see, berry sludge, it is not here yet, but as soon as it's here, I'm gonna make sure we don't put it right here, because there's only one space where we want to put it. So we're gonna let a dupe make the first one, and then we're gonna set it up properly. And Dan Shiv is here, and he's mushing out our first one. Look at it. Okay, very good. And now it's on the floor, and now we can take a look into here. Is it now here? Where is it at? Berry sludge, it is not in any of our fridges right there. So we can go back to our rocket, and we can say edible, and we can say berry sludge with a number 9 priority. Every berry sludge that we make, we're gonna plop into this fridge right here. And we can probably disconnect it from power as well, because that is absolutely not needed, since it will never spoil anyway. That is never going to be a problem. But for right now, we are looking extremely good. But that is all I have for you today. So if you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and comment down below. You know it, I'm always happy to hear from you, especially if you have new names for this rocket right here. Yes, leave them down below. And with that, I say thank you and peace.